Hello guys and welcome to another tutorial video, and in this tutorial video I'll be showing you how to use Zoho Books. Alright guys, so once you've logged on to zoho.com, there are a couple of websites. Let's say you search for Zoho Books on your browser, you're going to be shown zoho.com /US/books. This is the website we're going to be making use of, but this is the general website being zoho.com. So let me just go ahead and show you this. This is Zoho /US/books. You can see the symbol here. And if you were to use the other link, this is where it takes you to the login page of Zoho. So you're going to actually need a Zoho account to access the platform. So make sure you have a Zoho account. If you do not, use the sign up option to simply sign up to Zoho and make use of their services. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to Zoho. This is the main Zoho platform. So once you're here, all you need to do is make sure you've logged in. As you can see, you can view my account here. And then the next thing is where we have some of our popular apps. So underneath the app section, all you need to do now is come here and click on books. So when you click on books, that's try now, you're taken to the Zoho Books website. So this is Zoho Books or zoho.com /books, and this is the home page. So once you're on this home page for Zoho Books, the main Zoho Books we're looking to use, all you need to do now is click on Access Zoho Books, or you could request a demo. This is the option to request a demo, enter the captcha, and then submit. But we're not going to be making use of the request. We're going to be accessing Zoho platform itself. So simply click on access and welcome to Zoho Books. Welcome to the login page or the sign up page for Zoho Books, not for Zoho. You're required to enter your organization name and your location. So I'm just going to go up and make a fabricated company name or organization name of my choice. And once you've done that, simply enter your location. So I'm just going to be searching up the United States. So let's just go with the United States of America. That's the USA. And then go ahead and click on Let's Get Started. So the Zoho Books or the Zoho.com is going to open up, and then you're asked to enter your industry. So what are you majorly using Zoho Books for? Are you an accountant, an automotive, an art or design, food service, interior design? I'll just go with food service, it's easier. And then what state are you located? So let's just go with Ohio. And then what's your currency? So this is part of your regional settings. I don't know if this can be changed afterwards, but it should. So it says here, or it's stuck on the US dollar, and your English or your language is set to English. And is this business liable to collect sales tax? You can turn this on or off. What is sales tax? It's a tax that is levied on the sale of goods and services to customers in the US. Let's turn this on. And then current accounting software. So we'll use this information to provide you with assistance in migrating. So you can go ahead and select something. If you're not making use of a current accounting software, you can skip this. Note you can update some of these preferences in the setting at any time. All right, so I believe we filled everything out. So now all we need to do is go ahead and click on Get Started. Okay, so welcome aboard books.zoho.com. Welcome to Zoho Books. This is the main platform. This is the app from zoho.com. All right, so you're greeted with an onboarding message. You can be shown around by Zoho Books where they guide you through the whole platform, but I'm just going to go ahead and skip that process. So welcome to Zoho. This is the home section, and on your home you have your dashboard. On your dashboard you can view your receivables, that's money that's gotten in, and your payables, that's money that is going out. I believe you have current, overdue. You can view your cash flow, income and expense, top expenses for the year, and if you scroll a bit more, you can look at your projects that are on your wait list. You can look at your banks and credit cards. We'll be talking about that shortly. And then we have account watch lists. So that's everything on the dashboard. You can also go ahead and create a separate dashboard from this and maybe give it a new name. Now, if you head back to getting started, this is basically the onboarding process on Zoho Books. They show you what to do, show you how to add organization details, create your first invoice, create your first bill and expense, set up banking and journals, configure. Okay, so explore useful features and set up Zoho Books. You can look at all of this, and you can come back and watch and learn if you need to. But I'm just going to be showing you the basics of how you can get through everything on Zoho. All right, so as a business owner or someone providing a service, how can you make use of the accounting software with Zoho Books? Your first step would be to head over to items underneath the home section. So once you're here, we have goods and services. If they have a price tag, put them here. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the plus to create a new item. So we're going to be creating a new item underneath the item category on Zoho Books. So now, what type of item are you selling? If you remember, I logged into this platform as a food business store where we sell food. So you could either provide a service, which could be catering, or you could provide a goods, which could be your pastries. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter a goods. So let's just put it as. All right, so go ahead and select your units. Is it in centimeters, feet, grams, inches, or kilograms? I'm just going to put it at kilograms. And then what's your selling price and what does it cost? So let's say I'm selling my pastries for about $12 or 120. What does it cost to make or something? You could put it at 130. Now, account. So this is under sales, and then this is cost of goods sold. So you can move this to travel expense, telephone expense, salaries, and employee wages. So I'm just going to put it at cost of goods sold. You can add a description. You can add a description here, and then if you have a vendor, you could include your vendor. So basically, we have customers and we have vendors on Zoho Books. Vendors simply serve the purpose of helping you sell your products or sell your services, while customers are the ones who buy your products. All right, so once you're done, you can now move this from taxable to non-taxable and then click on save. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on save for this item, and the item has been added to my save list. So if you were to reload, you'd find it here. You can view the overview. The transaction history is shown, and then the history for creating it is shown as well. All right, so now let's head over to banking. And underneath banking, stay on top of your money, connect your bank and credit cards to fetch all your transactions. So if you were to click on connect your bank and credit cards, you're going to be taken to where you can connect your PayPal, the Bank of America, Commonwealth, Discover card, um, ANZ, I guess this is for Australia, and then automatic bank feed supported banks. All right, so if you were to click on connect now and then select, let's agree to this first. If you were to select one of the services for your banks, like Plaid or Yodel, you'll find all the companies you can use. Uh, you'll find all the banks you can connect with your Yodel account, or you could go ahead and add your bank account manually. Unable to connect your bank account through our service providers, add your bank account manually by entering your account details. All right, so now click on sales and then click on customers. Once you've selected customers, we have the option to import customers from your file. If you have such something like a CSV, you can import them from there, or an Excel sheet. But I'm just going to go ahead and create a new customer. Click on create new customer and then enter what customer type. Is it business or an individual? Seeing as I'm selling pastries, it's going to be an individual. Primary contact. So the primary contact, what's his salutation? Mr. And then if they possess a company name, you can also include their company name. If they do not, you could leave it blank. It's optional. But what is important is their display name. So you could simply set up a display name here. So let me just put it in John Donald's. And then you can also include their email address. So let's just add the email address to this, and then go ahead and enter their phone number. If you do possess that as well, you can enter their phone number. If you do not, you can leave it as blank. And now if you scroll a bit more, you can find other details. Scroll to the bottom and then you can find their tax preference. Are they taxable or not? And then select a tax rate. So you can go ahead and select a tax rate or create a new tax. Let's just simply create a new tax. Let's just give it a name. And then what's the percentage? 5% tax. And then tax authority, select or type to add. And then click on save. All right, so now go ahead and select the tax, and then if you scroll down, you can select their local currency. Now, what is interesting with this is underneath the currency, you can select the currency for your customer. So if they are making use of the Chinese yuan or the euro, let's just go with euro for this customer, they can make payments in their local currency and you receive it in dollar via the conversion rates that are provided by Zoho Books. We have the exchange rate, which you can edit, and then we have the opening balance, which you can include, which I'm going to keep out. We have payment terms, due on receipt, net 60, 45, 30, 15, due end of the month, and then we have documents. So you can upload some documents about this customer. You can add their address, and then there's a cool feature here underneath. We have contact person. So basically, contact persons are people you can go through to contact this particular customer, like his wife, his cousin, his niece, his nephew, that kind of thing. And then we have custom fields. Start adding custom fields to your customer and vendors by going to settings, preferences, and that. Then we have reporting tags, and then we have remarks. You can write a remark for this customer. But once it's all done, just go ahead and click on save to save this information about your customer, the entire info, and the customer has been added. All right, so here is everything about the customer. And then if you have a new transaction to register on this customer, you could just go ahead and click on it. If you want to attach a file like a video, picture, or maybe an Excel sheet or a receipt, you can attach this as well. If you click the drop down, we have associates templates. You can email the customer, stop all reminders, or link him to a vendor if you have a vendor, or you can clone this customer or merge them. So let's say he and his wife are purchasing, you could just merge them together as one customer, and you could also mark as inactive or delete. All right, so under receivables, you're going to be shown how much you receive from the customer in his local currency and your local currency. And then you can also see his details. All right, so now let's head over to quotes. And in quotes, quotes are basically what you use to give customers, like it's basically generating an invoice before the invoice. Let me show you what I mean. So if you click on create new quotes, you're taken to where you can create your quotes. You can then add a customer. So let's add Mr. Trump here, and then you can enter the quote, reference, quote dates, and then the salesperson, all of which are optional. And if you scroll a bit more, you can now add the item. So you could just add the item we have already that we created here. You can see the item. We've added this item, and then you can add a description. And then all you need to do now to add more is simply add a new row, or you can add your items in bulk and then go ahead and, kind of like add the discount. So let's give him a 2% discount. And if you want to add shipping charges, you can go ahead and add that. And at the end of the day, this is what he's making payments for. And then you can also include terms and conditions in your transaction. And then you can email them. So we already have his email, so he'll be emailed when we're ready to send the quote. So like I said before, a quote is basically what goes before an invoice. It's kind of like a pre-invoice. Basically shows the customer what to expect. It's just an invoice before the invoice. You can add a quote date and an expiry date as well, a salesperson as I mentioned earlier, and then all you need to do now is click as save, or you can click on save and send. So let's just go ahead and click on save and send. He'll hopefully get this email from Zoho Books for his pastries. And then the quotes have been created. You can find it here. You can then find his email. You're sending from your email to his email. And if you scroll down, you can look at the total amount he'll be charged. And then if you click on view quotes, he's going to view the quotes. So you can attach the quote as a PDF and then click on send. All right, so let's just go ahead and click send here, and the code has been sent. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. All right, so now after sending a quote, simply click on invoices, and I'm going to show you how to generate an invoice. So it's time to get paid. We don't want to boast too much, but sending amazing invoices and getting paid is easier than ever. So you can create a new invoice or create a recurring invoice. Recurring invoices are basically, let's say he makes purchases every week. So you can just set up a recurring invoice to demand payment from him, or let him know what he's been paying for or what he needs to pay for. All right, so just go ahead and click on invoice. Or you could import your invoices. If you have invoices saved on other platforms or anywhere else, you could just go ahead and invoice them. All right, so set your transaction preferences. Do you give discounts at transaction level, discount before tax, or discount after tax? Let's just go after. Select any additional charges you'd like to add. Adjustment shipping charge. Do you sell your items at rates inclusive of tax? Rates inclusive. Rounding off in sales, no rounding. Round off the total to the nearest whole number. So this would be done by Zoho Books for you. I want to add a field or salesperson. So if you have a salesperson, you could add. I'm not going to be going ahead to add this. And then click on save and continue. So this is just going to be your preference for when you're creating an invoice, which you could simply change using this gear icon here to change that. So if you want to send an invoice, just go ahead and select the customer, and then the invoice number is shown, the tax percent is shown, his billing address or shipping address will be shown here if you were to add them. And then the other number, you can enter it as something like this: invoice date, due on receipt, and then subject. So let your customer know what this invoice is for. So you could just put as bill for, and once you enter that, simply scroll down and then enter the item. So let's just go and add our pastries, and you can view the quantity. You can increase the quantity. Let's say he's ordering about uh, 11 of these. It's going to reflect here. As you can see, boom, it's reflected. And you can view the tax as well. You can add new rows, new items, add your items in bulk. And then once everything is done, you're seeing his total payment to you. And then any adjustments that need to be made, you can be adjusted. So if you want to add more money, you can add more money here, and then add your terms and conditions. So want to get paid faster? So Zoho Books is offering a payment gateway using your MasterCard or your Visa accounts to simply set up a payment gateway. But I'm not going to be doing any of this. And then once you've received the payment for your invoice, you can just go ahead and mark this as received. If you've not, you can just leave it as it is. There's an option to make it recurring, which you could go ahead and do if he or whoever is purchasing your product or service is making use of the recurring option. And once you're done, just click on save, or save and share, or save and send later. So let's just click on save and send later, and the invoice has been created. So when would you like to send this email? End of the week, end of the month, custom? You could just schedule it and it would send. Now, if you head over to payments received, you're going to find all the payments you've received so far from unpaid invoices. So we have some unpaid invoices here that we got. This would probably from the invoice we sent out. If it's not been paid, you can find it here under the unpaid invoices. And then recurring invoices are like the ones I mentioned earlier, where you can set up a periodical invoice to send to your customers. And then we have credit notes. I believe this is offered by Zoho. And then if you click on purchases, now purchases are for products or services you're buying. Maybe if you have a vendor, you could include your vendor here. And then we have expenses. So expenses are basically what you have to pay at the time. Create and manage expenses that are part of your organization's operating costs. So if it costs you to operate, you add your expense here. So let's just go ahead and record an expense. Okay, so you can record an expense, record mileage, bulk, add expenses. So expense account, where is it going? Let's just put cost of goods sold. And then the amount, how much does it cost to operate your business? You could enter an amount, and then tax inclusive or tax exclusive, paid through what account, petty cash, advanced tax, employee advance, furniture and equipment. You could just put put it on an account. So let's just go with and then you could add a tax to it, and then you could add a vendor. So we do not have a vendor, so we can go ahead and create one. Uh, this, and then you enter his name, and then his company name if need be, his display name, his email address, phone number, and his currency. If he operates in the US, you can add his local currency. If he does not, you can just select his other currency. Let's say he exists in Europe, you could add the euro there, and then just go ahead and click on save. And boom, we now have a vendor. So you can now include him here. And then you can add some notes or a customer to this vendor. You can connect the both of them. And all you need to do now after creating your expense and your vendor is just to click on save. Alright guys, so once you've created or generated your expense, you can just simply click on the set expense and you would find who it's directed to. We have our vendor here, Mr. Hool, and then the expense amount is shown. It's a non-billable expense. If you remember while we were setting it up, you could have set it up as a billable expense as well. And it's underneath the cost of goods account, cost of goods sold account, and it's paid through the furniture and equipment account, and it's paid to Mr. Who you can then pay to via your accounting. And then once you're done paying for this expense, all you need to do is just simply upload your file from your desktop or your documents for the receipt of this expense paid, and it's been set up. Now, if you click on recurring expenses, you can find the life cycle of recurring expenses. Create recurring expense. Is it billable? If it's not billable, nothing further. If it's billable, it will be converted into an invoice and then it will get reimbursed. That's the life cycle of a recurring expense. So you create, set, and repeat. Now, if you click on bills, basically bills are what you don't have to pay immediately. It has its own life cycle, which is purchase items, record the bill, convert it to open, record payment, or record partial payment for this bill. So it's just like any other bill you have. You can go ahead and create a new bill if you'd want to. And then if you click on payments made, we haven't made any payments yet, so the receipts of my bills would show up here once they are created, and then you can go towards unpaid bills and pay them. We also have recurring bills, which are basically like recurring expenses. There's a routine purchase, you then create a recurring profile, it generates a bill, and you record the payment. And then we have vendor credits. I believe we have vendor credits. Products returned or cancelled, credit note received, record vendor credits, apply to future bills, or record refund. All right, so the next thing we have, or the next feature we have on Zoho Books is time tracking. So basically, time tracking helps with managing projects. It helps with managing projects and timesheets. So let's say you're trying to set up a project. What it does is you create, you link your customer to the project. It will then help you to log time using a timer for the project. So let's say you need a certain piece of material or any bill or invoice to be paid for the project. It will help set up a timer, and then all of this goes towards generating an invoice. And we have timesheets as well, which also serve as um, timesheets do. You log time for your task. If it's a billable task, it includes time entries in your invoice, and then you get paid. So it's just basically time tracking. That's what it does. And then if we head to the accounting or the accountant feature, we have what we call manual journals, which are journal entries that you can start. You can start a journal entry on Zoho Books by just clicking on create a new journal, and then you can begin to write. You can transfer and adjust money between accounts, as a journal would go. And then we also have bulk updates. So bulk updates are for account transactions. So let's say you're moving some amount of money from one account to another. You can now update all your accounts via this feature. All you need to do is click on filter and bulk update, select the account. So let's say from uh, bank fees and charges, and then select the contact, let's say Mr. Hall, and then the date range 1st to 25th, total amount. You can then click on search for something within that total range and adjust the transaction. So you can increase how much was moved. You can just edit your transactions. And then we have tax payments. So if you're paying any tax or any taxes, it will be shown here. If you had made any payments, it will also be shown here underneath your tax payments. Then we have tax adjustments. So if any adjustments come in, you can just go ahead and adjust your tax. Like we have adjustments with sales and purchases, they would be reflected here once the taxes are paid. Then we have currency adjustments, which is self-explanatory. We have chart of accounts, which is actually quite interesting. Once you head over to chart of accounts, once you see this lock over here, it means you cannot delete the account, but you can edit the name. So basically, they are accounts that are given to you by Zoho Books to record money coming in and money going out of your organization or your company. Okay, and the next thing we have here is budgets. So basically, budget is you can budget your finances, you can stay on top of your expenses. If you click on create a budget, it brings up the name of the budget, the fiscal year, the budget period, and what account it's going into and what account it's leaving. And then you can just go ahead and create a budget. Now, the next thing we have is transaction locking. So basically, transaction locking is for when you're done with the fiscal year of your transactions and you wouldn't want someone who has access to your account or maybe a client to go back and change some certain things. So you can lock some transactions in place using Zoho Books. You can lock this info in place. Sales, purchases, and banking can be locked on your module. All right, and then underneath this, we have sales tax. So let's go ahead and look at sales tax. And with sales tax, you can run a report of all your taxes within a certain period of time. From this date, report basis, it can be accrual or cash. And then you can also export this or share the report to any of your clients. Okay, so there are report categories. We have profit and loss, cash flow statements, balance sheets, movement equity. On the sales, there's sales by customer, sales by item, and sales by salesperson being your vendor, and all these other stuffs. So if you were to head over to documents, we have files. So basically, it's kind of like an auto scan feature that is embedded into Zoho Books, where you can upload a document that is besides the normal bank statement. You can upload a document that can then be auto scanned by Zoho Books, and any information that needs to be taken out can be taken out of those documents and turned to a PDF or any kind of document. Now, if you were to click on bank statement, it's basically the same thing with files, but the difference is you can enable auto uploading Zoho Books, you can set up auto forwarding in emails, and then add statements to your account. And then you can go ahead and enable this. So let's head back. And lastly, we have payroll. So simplify payroll accounting with Zoho Books. Unleash the power of synergy by effortlessly syncing your payroll data. So if you have employees, you could just make your payments using Zoho Payroll at the month. I think it can be automatically charged from your account or something like that. And then it just gets sent to your employees. So guys, that's how you can make use of Zoho Books. Comment down below if you have a question and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.